Hello everybody, Navy Vet 76 out at the range with the Portuguese Vergueiro again. I did some research. I did not write down the load data on that load that was working so well. And the closest thing I could figure out was just looking at the grain size and the weight that was in the case when I pulled it apart. My best guess was H4350 or IMR 4350. And it weighed out at 51.6 grains, and it seemed a little hot to me. I didn't have the chronograph set up, so we're going to do that today. And I'm constantly having issues trying to figure out how to get this thing to work. So, because I don't use it very often, but I do have it connected to my phone. So I'm starting at 49 grains of H4350, and I've got 15 loaded at 49. I have 15 loaded at 50, and then I have 21 loaded at 51 grains. And I want to see what my speed is like and feel the recoil as well, and check the grouping at 50 yards. So I'm using a Hornady SP bullet. What I've had in there before, I believe, was a PPU bullet. It didn't have the little grooves in there in the bullet. It was just a smooth jacketed lead tip bullet, where this one has the little grooves. I can't remember what you call that little groove in there. And I have these extended out to 3 inches, 152 thousandths. It's just slightly off of the lands. So I'm pretty much set up here. I trimmed all the brass, annealed everything after I shot it last time, so all the brass is within a few thousandths of each other as far as the overall length. And hopefully I've got this thing set up so it'll read and that one was 2,241 feet per second, and it didn't read. I don't know why this thing isn't okay, we're connected now. So it says 2241. I'll just write it down. It's still not reading. Oh, this drives me nuts. Now it says it's synced. Okay. That one was 2172. 21, 22. Alright, I need to push this back. $21.63. $21.75. The cases all look good. Get a duplicate. $21.75. $21.73. $21.80. You know, I can't tell you if all Vergueiros are like this one. This thing shoots very well. It's smooth. The bolt is really smooth. Condition is really good. Imagine I just got lucky. That last one, I don't know what it was because it quit on me. Okay, something happened here. There it is. Last one was $21.74. I got 10 shots. I've only got 8 recorded. Right now my spread is 64.04 shots per second. The true muzzle velocity is 2168.5. Standard deviation is 19.88. So,
ceasefire, 1 minute.
Okay, so we'll do those last 5 after the break. Save that group. How do I save it right there? All right.
Clear, keep fire on the line, make the line safe. Left fire line clear, here's the down range, check the change of target, pick up brass, come back on your line.
Well, we're still recording because I didn't pause the camera. Let's see what kind of group we have. And we'll go from there. Well, there's 10 shots. My point of aim is right here. That's the 49 grain bullets. I have 5 more to shoot before I move on to the next group. I want to finish those up. Well, I said it before and I'll say it again. This rifle would be a good candidate for a scout mount. At least here in Indiana it would be, because if I'm deer hunting, not a lot of long range shooting going on. So, and we're shooting really good groups at 50 yards. And most of my shots are at or less than 50 yards. .2207. Again, it didn't start. Oh, I don't know how this thing. Seriously, folks, it says I'm connected. Network unavailable. Reset comm. That one was 2207. That was the fastest one so far. .2202. I did lose the shell down there, didn't I? Hang on, please. I've had quite a few 8mm over the years. And this one is by far the best shooter I've had so far. The front sight's getting fuzzy. .2168. That one kind of jostled my chronograph around. That's okay. And that one was 2240. Now we're starting to get some deviation. $21.79. That was the last of the 49 grain bullets. Okay. So I recorded 4 of those. And the average is 2197 this time. The shots per second is the same. 2197.25 is the average. Okay, we'll save that. Yeah, the interesting thing about this program is I can take a picture of the target and save it with the data, which is pretty cool. So now my next group will be 50 grains. And then we'll have to dig around with this again to figure it all out. But I'll see if I can get a picture down there. So we go with this to the saved groups. And I can edit that group and take a picture. I just hit edit and then go down here and take a picture of the group and add it to the data, which I like. I don't want to go. There we go. So at the break, I'll go down there and we'll take a picture. I want this to cool for a minute, so we're going to pause the camera and wait for the break. Well, there's 15 shots at that load. My aim point was right here, and at 50 yards, it should shoot high. Now I'm going to move on to the 50 grain bullet. Everything else is the same except for the amount of powder I'm using. Start the camera back up. And let's see if I can figure this thing out now. You want to commit the changes and go to the new group. And it says I'm connected. I'm going to reset the comm. It says I'm synced. I don't know if it started or not, but my chronograph is slightly twisted. I don't know if I can adjust that or not, or just leave it and see if it works. All right, now I'm moving on to the 50 grain bullet. All right, let's see what happens. $22.34. Yeah. I like the feature on this Caldwell app that when I save this information, I can also add that picture to the saved information of the group. It'll actually measure the group. And that says 2260. So far, that dropped it almost, that's roughly 100 grain or 100 feet per second increase by adding just one grain. $22.05. $22.09. $22.48. That barrel is pretty hot. $22.36. $22.39. $22.44. $22.19. $22.31. And I've got 5 more 50 grains. And I just blew the hood off of my chronograph. So I have to pause the camera because I can't actually shoot with it like that. You see there it knocked the hood off the muzzle blast. I'm only like 8 feet away, maybe 10. from the muzzle of the rifle. I'll have to wait till the break so I can go fix that. Well, I fixed the chronograph. Make sure the mic is still working. Yep. Now plug it back in. As far as I can tell, we are connected. And I only had 4 more shots. So, as I'm synced, as far as I know, it's ready to go. $22.55. $22.38. This sling kind of gets in my way when I'm bench resting. $22.42. And the last one. $22.51. Okay, so we got all 15 recorded. And our average is 2,235.6 feet per second. And I don't know what the rest of this means, but you know, the spread is 55. The shot per second is 0.02. Says true muzzle velocity, which is the same as the average, is 2235.6. So that's good. So I want to save that, save the group, and then we want to edit for the next. Actually, I can edit that. For the next 20 shots, we're at 51 grains. And then I'll just disconnect it from the chronograph. And then when these stupid lights come on, it doesn't read, because the chronograph will read. I'll show you here. See that red light right there? If I can get my finger to point at it. That red light, when that starts to flashing at the ceasefire, the chronograph reads that. And it'll mess up your data. So you just disconnect the phone from the chronograph and it doesn't mess up the data. All right, well, I've got a long wait till the next break. So we'll just wait. Well, there is 50 grains of H4350 at 25 yards. And again, my aim point's right here. Alright, now we're down to the 51 grain bullets, or 51 grains of H4350. I have 20 of these. What do you bet we shoot right around 2340 feet per second? Okay. These are all, yep, these are all 51. How did I get 6 of them? All right, 51 grains. Did I say 50 grains? These are 51. Excuse me. This stupid sling, it just really interferes with my resting this gun. I should just take it off. $23.44. Yep. I was right about that. Ow! And the recoil got my hand. And that said error. $22.72. Considerable difference in recoil. 22.93. Okay. $23.23. And another error. 23, 22. You know what? Let's see if I can take this freaking fling off of here. Oh, it's really a pain to do. I'm not going to do that. But this buckle is catching on this up here. So you just have to work with it. $22.76. Huh. There's an outlier. Well, I have a 22.72 as well. $22.73. $23.10. $22.88. $22.91. $23.22. $23.35.
1 minute to ceasefire, 1 minute.
And 1 minute to ceasefire. $23.12. Disconnect this so it doesn't mess up that. Put the flag in. Put all those bullets back in there. Whoop, and then pause the camera. Well, I have 5 more, and then I'm done. This H4350, I actually used 200 grain load data, and there was no 195 grain load data in the Lee manual, but the start loads all the way up to the 51 grains was well within the safe range for 200 grain bullet, which means that for me, I interpret that to mean it would be more than safe for the 195 grain bullet. And I'm not even approaching the maximum load for if it were a 200 grain bullet. So the H4350 it appears to work pretty well for this gun. I'm really happy with this powder. I believe the IMR 4350 would work just as well. I have both, but the data called for H4350. And if you look at my previous videos on this rifle, which I've been shooting for the last 4 weeks now, I think, I've come to the conclusion that what I had was either IMR or H4350, considering the grain weight that was in the case when I pulled it. None of the other powders in the load data I have available through Lee or Lyman or Hornady showed any other powder coming close to that grain weight. So it just, to me, it was common sense that it would have been IMR or H4350, and that one was 2312. That one's 2347. That's 2298. $23.42. I'm going to do something here real quick. Doing a visual inspection on an unfired case and the fired case. I'm not seeing a lot of case expansion between the two, which means this is a relatively tight chamber, which is a good thing because that lessens the fatigue on your cases if they don't have to expand so much each time. And since I only have currently only one 8mm, actually I have two 8mm, but the other is a GEW 8805, and its groove diameter is 318, so it's a completely different bullet. This one is 323, and so I could just buy a neck sizer And then I don't have to full length size these at all. I may have to bump the shoulder back occasionally. But that was the last one. That one was at 23.22. And so, and that one didn't record, but that's okay. I've got enough here. I've got 15 here. So that's enough for the data. And my average is 2304.69. And true muzzle velocity is the same, 2304.69. Shots per second is 0.03. The spread is 72. The max was 2344 and the minimum was 2272. So if somebody could tell me what the spread means, I'm assuming that's the difference between the max and the minimum. I have to do the math. I'm sure I can figure that out. And standard deviation. I don't understand what that is actually either, to be honest with you, but I'm reading this off for those of you that do know. So we're going to save that. And then at the break, go down there and check it out. But this is a beautiful firearm. One of my nicer ones. It shoots very well. Most 8mm I've owned don't shoot worth a crap because they're pretty well worn and well used. If you know the history of this firearm, they originally were 6.5 caliber and later updated to 8mm, which means a rebarrel. And honestly, I wouldn't mind having a 6.5 caliber Vergueiro. But this 8mm it's just an incredibly beautiful firearm. The camera doesn't do it any justice because you can't really see the grain of the wood or anything. But it was very well re-arsenaled. Now walking down, take a look at the groups. But just looking at it from where I am, there's not really a lot of difference. The 49 grain load I think works just as well as the 51 grain load. And you can see a lot of grouping. I'd be good, just as good at 49 grains as I am at 51, right? Well, that's it. That's it.